there, and thanks for joining me today at ESL Universe. I have a question for you. What is your goal when it comes to learning English? Is it to master English grammar? Is it to increase your vocabulary? Is it to improve your pronunciation? Maybe it's to improve your overall fluency? Whatever the goal is, I'd love to hear it. Comment in the section below to let me know what you want to achieve and how I can help you with your goal. Today we're going to talk about English reductions. You may be wondering what a reduction is. A reduction is a short but commonly used phrase that is spoken quickly. Basically, a reduction is what is left when someone reduces the pronunciation of a specific word or phrase. While you may not be able to learn all reductions at once, it is important to understand what they are and to learn some common ones that are used so that you can more easily understand others when they are speaking. Please note that today I am focusing on reductions used in North American English, as many reductions may be different in other places that use English, such as in British English. The reality is that reductions will rarely be taught in classrooms, as they are not real words and should not be used in more formal written English. However, if your goal is to understand and communicate with native speakers more easily and to sound more natural speaking English yourself, then reductions cannot be ignored. This is especially important if you are trying to understand conversations between native English speakers or in pop culture, such as in music, movies, or TV shows. Keep in mind that when you use reductions, it is okay to speak quickly over the reduced part of the sentence. However, you should make sure that you are speaking clearly and stressing the main verb. There are several patterns for reductions in English, which we will go over today. However, before we jump into those, I would like to introduce you to two of the most frequently used reductions, gotta and wanna. Gotta is the reduction of the words got and to, as in, I got to go. However, it is important to recognize that got to is already an extremely lazy and incorrect way to speak English. This is because got to in this case actually is used to mean have to. However, just because it is incorrect doesn't mean that it isn't used a lot. In fact, the informal gotta is extremely common to hear. Sometimes it is used along with a contracted version of the word have, and sometimes it is simply used alone. For example, I've gotta go or I gotta go are both shortened ways to say I have to go or I have to leave. Another frequently used reduction is the word wanna. Wanna is the reduction of want to, which gives the speaker a way to say that they would like to do something. For example, I would like to go home is a formal way of saying I want to go home. However, you will often hear the shortened version, I wanna go home. As you may be able to guess based on these first two common reductions, one word that is commonly reduced is the word to. Some other examples of reductions with the word to is going to being shortened to gonna, have to and has to being reduced to have to or has to, and ought to being reduced to oughta. Of is also commonly reduced in English, becoming an A sound at the end of the previous word, just like the to becoming an A sound at the end of a previous word. For example, kind of becomes kinda, out of becomes outa, sort of becomes sorta, and lots of becomes lotsa. Probably one of the most frequent words that gets reduced in English is the word you, simply because it is used quite often when speaking to another person. Similar to the words of and to, the you gets reduced to an a sound at the end of a previous word. You may notice a pattern where words ending with a d or t particularly have the word you reduced next to them. Usually in these cases, the reduction sounds like a cha or a ja. For example, don't you becomes don'tcha, got you becomes gotcha, bet you becomes betcha, are you becomes arya, would you becomes woulda, could you becomes coulda, want you becomes wantcha, and can't you becomes can'tcha. Some of these also get paired with the previously mentioned wanna and gotta, turning phrases like do you want to do you wanna, or do you have to being reduced to do you have to or do you gotta. We also do this reduction of you quite frequently with questions, particularly with the words do, did, or are before the you. In these cases, the reduction can actually happen across 3 words as well as 2. For example, how do you becomes how'd ya, what are you and what do you both become what'da ya, did you becomes didja, and the question words reduce alongside the reduction didja. So what did you becomes what did ya, where did you becomes where'd ya, who did you becomes who'd ya, when did you becomes when'd ya, how did you becomes how'd ya, and why did you becomes why'd ya. Some other common reductions include do not know being reduced to dunno, let me being reduced to lemme, and give me being reduced to gimme. Of course, there are always the reductions and contractions which you've already become familiar with. For example, I have being reduced to I've, or we would being reduced to we'd. If you're ever unsure about what someone is saying because the reductions are speeding up their speech, try to think about context a bit to see if the word you heard would make sense as a reduction. If you really just can't understand what they are saying, ask them to say it again, or you could even ask them to say it again more slowly, please. Most people will naturally break the reduction into its separate words when repeating their sentence, which will help you become used to the reductions commonly used in that area that you are living in. I hope that this helps you with your communication in an English-speaking area. If you have any questions about any specific reductions that you've heard, you can drop them in the comments below and I'll try to help you decode the sounds you're hearing. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.